A year? Are you serious? I should have not invited you in the first place. I don't care what tradition says. You got 1 month. Otherwise, we're through. Hello, somebodies. Welcome back to the channel. You got Mr. Mafuchi. You got the eye candy. Of course, you have Jay.
Hello.
Today's show, wedding etiquette. We've talked about the wedding, we've talked about the marriage, but guess what? What happens with the wedding, during? And we need to know all this because some of you are thinking about the marriage. So let's get into the quick shot. Here we go.
So for the groom, I feel this is just me because this is what I did. I want to have some attention too. I don't think it should be all about the bride. It's like there will be no wedding without the groom as well. So for me, my wedding, I can't say wedding or renewal of the vows, right? I had my own entrance because I couldn't do it on an actual wedding day. So I feel if the couple are cool and depending on where you're having it, why not have your own entrance music, just like a wrestler? Nothing wrong with that.
All right, somebodies, we all know Jay had 2 weddings, but he's still in denial. But I tend to agree with Jay. I wish I would have thought about this and had my own entrance music, but because he's right. I know this is the day for the ladies. They've been dreaming about this the whole time, but there's also got to be some interest for us. So again, I definitely am in agreement with Jay, and I wish I knew what kind of entrance music I would have because I have so many. But Jay, you took the idea there. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it, even though I was in awe, like, wow. All right, this is definitely going to turn this wedding around. There's going to be 2 songs because there's usually that nice wedding song. But yeah, that was awesome. Entrance, I'm all for it. Well, somebodies, the most important thing, no one will say it out loud, but it is very important, the wedding gifts. So with me, Jay, let us know how it goes. I know you got some charts, you got some facts, you gotta let us know. Drop it on us. Let's do it, Jay.
So I feel when it comes to giving gifts, what do the couple want and what do they need? But mostly this is what surveys say about how gifts are decided for the couples and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So they base it on one, how much is the gift gonna cost? What's the price, right?
Mm-hmm.
Functionality of the gift. How is it going to be used? Quality of the gift. Aestheticness, efficiency, and what other type of gifts that people want to give, depending on what their needs are, right?
Yeah,
Me, I've always said, just give me cash or a gift card or something that we can go and use for, right? Most popular gifts are most likely if you're moving in together for the first time, you're gonna want kitchen stuff. You might want home stuff like decor, stuff like that. I'm always cool with cash. Oh, bathroom stuff as well. Because when you first start off, you're gonna need towels. You're gonna need. Well, women have rugs in the bathroom, whatever. But stuff like that. So those are the main things that people usually get as far as gifts, but nothing's wrong with cash. Depending on what kind of couples you have now, they don't want cash. They want you to pay for their honeymoon or whatever the case these young people are doing nowadays. But yeah, that's the gist. Most people, I don't think they have an issue with getting cash or gift cards for things that they need.
All right, Jay. So it's pretty much tradition, bachelor party, but there's 2 ways to go about it. It's single or co-op. Now, I'm still about single, just because it's a bachelor party. This is your last night as quote-unquote not married, a bachelor. The only thing with that is you can get yourself in trouble depending on what kind of friends you have and where you go. Most of the times, we're going to some seductive ladies that will partake in some dancing. That's tradition. And unfortunately, things can happen. So it's crazy. It's just wild to think about it, but yes, that can happen. Now we have the other one, co-op, which both people do the bachelor party at the same time. It's safe. but at the same time, it's not as much fun just because you're both together. It's bachelor, bachelorette when the woman is there, and I'm gonna go with single just because your last night. It's got to be without your spouse. So let's go with single.
I don't agree with having strippers at a bachelorette party. As you said, things can go a different way. So, like, I watch like a show called Married at First Sight, right? So they'll have a bachelorette party for the show, and then because it'll be so bad, their own friends will take them out later on to do whatever they want to do. Now, I would agree with that. Go do something just for the fellas, just for the ladies. Do something that's not stripper related. Hang out, just have a good time. If you like to drink, go ahead, go and drink. Something like that. Just keep it simple. You're supposed to be getting married the next day. Do you really want to hang over or saying, did I really just do something I shouldn't have done? Or do you remember what you did? No, you gotta tell the spouse, whatever the case may be, and then there will be no wedding. So I just say, hey, keep it simple. Just do a little either dinner, go to a club, something like that, where it's like, okay, we're gonna sit in this little corner, chop it up and stuff like that. But that's what I say. No strippers. So when it comes to a wedding budget, I am strict. I am cheap as hell. Okay, so I am not going over budget if I ain't got to. All right, I need to know how much. If you want flowers, how much are the flowers? How many flowers are we getting? Right? The venue, the cost is going to pay for the pastor, for the food. Oh, I need to know. Okay, I need everything to be at a particular price. I cannot afford to go over, and I don't want to go over. Okay, so I believe in having a budget for a wedding because one, you're not going to get everything you want. Do something that's going to go wrong where you're not going to be happy throughout the day because you're going to think and linger about this. This part didn't go right, and I wish this would have happened. Just keep it simple. What do you actually need at the wedding? Not what you want. What do you need? And pretty much it's just you and the spouse and the priest or the pastor, whomever's going to marry you. That's what I say. What about you, Afuchi? Are you strict? Well, we know you're strict because you're a budget person like me. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so with my wedding, I went under budget because number one, I am even cheaper than Jay, believe it or not. So it's nice that both of us are cheap. We know where we're coming from. And all you somebodies out there, we know you're out there. Put it in the comments. But yeah, under budget. And I was not going to go over. I was going to fight tooth and nail for every detail. Now, granted, I was blessed with my wife that the minority that didn't have the fairy tale wedding from a child. So everything was fine. And like Jay said, just the stuff you need. Now, ultimately, I'm glad for the people that didn't show up because that cost me a little less money. You know, a few shekels, everything is fine. Do not go over because that will not help in the long run. If you have a budget and you go over, guess what? It's going to be the same in your marriage as whether you stay on budget or you go a little under. Going over doesn't matter. It doesn't improve the marriage. So stay on the budget, or more so like Jay and I, go lower. It's fun.
Okay, so for me, I don't care about timetables of sending us a gift. You know who you invite if they have money to get you a gift or not. Me personally, if you're gonna give me something, cool. If not, cool. And a big deal. But pretty much for the most part, I know where you are as far as when it comes to money, as far as like, oh, if I know you're gonna give something or you're not gonna give something. So either way, I'm cool. I look at it as, okay, if I'm gonna give someone a gift, I'm gonna do it the day of the wedding, or I'm like, I'm gonna send this to you, or if you have a registry or something like that, I'm like, okay, we purchased this, it should be coming, be on the lookout for it. That's where I come from with that. Usually when you're planning a wedding, right, there is a save the date, right? So you know, I don't know how many months or at least a year in advance that someone's gonna have a wedding. So if you can put like $5, $10 away per month or whatever, there's no excuse by the time they get married to have something to give them. I don't even think if you can give them a little something and you're not well off enough to do anything, I think the couple would appreciate it. But that's just me.
All right, on my end. A year? Are you serious? I should have not invited you in the first place. I don't care what tradition says. If I don't get anything from you, not even 3 months, come on. I think 1 month is enough time. The fact that we thought enough about you to invite you, and that means you're important. You're in my circle. So don't make me wait, all right? It's like money. If somebody owes you money and they're going to keep you waiting, that's the same thing. I'll give you a month. Afterwards, if you don't give me anything, if you don't get us anything, because my wife is involved too, then we're just not going to talk to you. We're not going to think about you anymore. Screw this 3 months and a year. A year? Seriously, who came up with that? I'm not down with it. You got 1 month. Otherwise, we're through. All right, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I think the majority of you, somebody's going to give you credit, have watched the movie The Wedding Singer, where Drew Barrymore's character said,
Well, maybe a little tongue. Not porno tongue, church tongue.
So what does that mean exactly? Just a little, okay? Just enough to show that it was used. Don't get gratuitous with it. Obviously not. You're under the house of the Lord, or if you have it out there, but nonetheless, you don't want your parents, you don't want your friends seeing what's ultimately gonna lead up to your honeymoon where it gets really racy. But no, just a little bit. That's all you need. For everybody else, because behind closed doors, that tongue is getting wild and crazy. It's all French and behind closed doors. We all know this.
Okay, so this is how I look at it, right? You want to be respectful in front of, if you invite any church people, the person's parents, your parents, but your parents know, well, I'm not going to say that. Cousins, right? Now, cousins will know what kind of freak you are, if you are a freak at all, right? Now, my wife and I discussed this the day of. She's like, no, heck only. That's all we're going to do. Like, yeah, you don't want to give any people any kind of ideas of what's going to happen later on, and hint, wink, wink, and all that mumbo jumbo. So, I agree. Just keep it very respectful. Like, your kids may see this one day type of thing, right? So that's what you want to. That's how you want to do it. A peck on the lips, all in a day. Creating a seating chart, I feel you want to have your immediate family in a certain area together, unless they don't like each other. Like I know some people in my family are. So people we know don't get along, yeah, you separate them. It's like there's no VIP section for you. It's like, okay, you guys over here, you guys way over there. So I believe in a seating chart, depending on what kind of environment you guys have. Yeah, it can get ugly depending on what type of family you have. So, but hopefully they know it's your day. They're not going to come up and make a fool. But yeah, I say a seating chart is a good idea. Only thing is you gotta sit certain people next to certain people. Loners not with all loners, but don't sit next to people who are very chatty, where okay, they're not comfortable speaking. So it's like you don't want to have that interaction. So you gotta be very meticulous doing a seating chart if you want to do it.
All right, so from my experience, we didn't necessarily create a seating chart. We just created the tables, but ultimately how it worked out was it was first come, first serve. Now, yes, I had the parents have their own seating. They had preferential treatment. They could sit wherever they wanted. But everybody else, if you wanted to form groups of people that knew you, then so be it. But otherwise, it was first come, first serve. So the people that showed up at the end, they got to sit wherever was left. So is it as important? I think more so for the reception. But for the wedding, I mean, you sit wherever you sit. You mind your manners.
You know your damn role and shut your damn mouth.
Alright, so for the wedding etiquette as far as gifts go, I would say reach out to the couple, see exactly what their needs and wants are, if they don't have a registry. For some people, like me, I was embarrassed to put certain things on the registry just because of how expensive it was.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put anyone through the anxiety of like, oh, they want this, but we can't afford to give this to them.
Mm.
So I would say either give them cash. It doesn't have to be a certain amount, just what you can give. You don't have to break the bank just to give someone some money if they not gonna stay married to begin with. But that's neither here or there. Yeah, I would say if you can give them $100, $50, a gift card to something that they need or want down the line, that should be good enough. When you first starting out, you're gonna take what you can get. You're gonna be able to eventually level up, God willing, and then call it a day.
Yeah, if anything, I'm not gonna get into all the murky part of the gift giving. I think Jay and I mentioned it before. I think more so Jay. Make it easy. Cash, gift cards. I definitely enjoy the green. Gift cards, hey, I get to choose whatever I want. For my wedding, we did not put anything on the registry because we didn't know what we wanted. But we did know that if you provide us the means, hey, we have no problem choosing it. And if you want us to, hey, take a photo of it and send it to you or give you a thank you for it, or even in the thank you card, I know that's something else you're supposed to do, we'll put, oh, P.S., by the way, we bought this with your money. Thank you so much. So, you want to keep it clean, money, cash. But if you want to go the traditional route, yeah, go to the registry. And Jay's right. There are some people that put high-end items. You have to know your circle. If everybody is right at your level and you're not rich, guess what? There ain't nobody gonna buy you that expensive item. Stop it. Don't list it. You're making a fool of yourself. So somebody, since you made it this far, how about a like? Or a subscribe? Or hey, do both. It's so simple. And also, let us know in the comments what you think about the wedding etiquette. And what did you do? Did you actually give the gifts that they wanted? Or did you make it easy for yourself? As Jay and I agree, cash, cards. It's all fun and games. Excellent timing. There's nothing wrong. Cash is still king when it comes to wedding etiquette. So, for Jay, for Mr. Mafucci, we will see you next time.
Later.